Hi, good morning. My name's Doug, and operator for TTC for 35 years. When I was looking at opportunity here, TTC was advertising in the newspaper. Drivers wanted. The subway had just opened up, the Spadina subway up to Wilson. And so I applied, and after a few interviews, got in. Anyway, it's been good. I've enjoyed it. I've been at Wilson for 9 years. I went to Grey Coach for a year. See what that was like. That was pretty good. It was intercity bus line. That doesn't exist anymore though. It's been sold off. And spent a long time at Arrow Road in the bus division, and then now recently, the last 2 years, been back at Wilson Subway. Wilson's a real good division. People are good, and you know, it's really a good thing to get back in the subway. My wife wasn't so sure about it, but you know, I didn't bug her about it. We just talked once in a while, and so nowadays our family is grown, our kids are out of the house, and they got their own families. So it's a little bit different now, and you know, she sees that I'm happier about it, but it's something I enjoy. As you see, standing in front of a railway crossing signal, but this is no ordinary railway. This is TTC Wilson Subway Yard. This is the only place on the TTC where we have a railway crossing signal. In the morning, the trains, after they've been parked here all night and they're serviced, they're ready to go out on the line. Got our favorable light. Give 2 bells to my operator. Brake is released. All right, we'll wait for our green door light, and we'll be on the way. Okay. Here we go.
Hi, I'm Robert, and I got into the commission back in 1990. As a result of the recession, our family business went down the tubes, and I was looking for almost any job. So I had to move out of my profession, which was graphic arts. And someone said, why don't you apply at TTC? And so I did, 4 times. Sometime after that 4th time, I got an interview to be a traffic checker, which I didn't get. I lived too far away at the time. Next opening was selling tickets at the bus terminal downtown, which I did as a temporary employee until, when was it? January of '92. At that time, I moved into TTC information, did that for 3 years, and finally I moved into transportation, driving a bus, March of 1995. During that year, I was trained on subway, which is how I came to be here now. And I did a bus on and off for about 3.5 years, streetcar for about 9 months, and the rest has been subway. And the rest shall only be subway.
So as we're going along here, getting up close to Downsview Station, it reminds me of being in training, and the initial training for subway operator is 31 days. And when I was being trained, the equipment we had was H5s and T1s. The TRs were just starting to be delivered. So initially I wasn't trained on the TR trains, but we had 31 days of the H5s and the T1s. We had classroom sessions. We had to learn about how to do things on the T1s and the H5s, how to try to look at emergency repairs, say if a door was failing to close, or if the brakes were stuck on, or other things to look for in case there was other mechanical problems with the train. And we also did some training on emergency procedures, things like what to do with passenger alarms. Now that was a real fun thing, that one, learning about the passenger alarms and emergency brake applications, because that day we were able to go to, on a train down to Lower Bay Station. So down at Lower Bay, they use that often for training, and we were able to take a train down there, and we were able to do things like emergency power off situations, and things like what to do with passenger alarms, and even run through scenarios. We'd have one person in the class push the passenger alarm, and then the other person come up and respond to what was going on there. That was a good day. First day we got to go in the simulator. You have classroom sessions, go in the simulator, get to try it out like that. So yeah, all in all, it was a good program.
I'm Kevin Brown, instructor with the TTC in rail transportation. And part of the job is training people on the simulator for the first couple of days in training, and then we get them on the real thing on the yard, and then eventually on the main line. We use the simulator probably in the first week quite extensively to teach the operators the signal system and the general operation of the subway. We can have simulate smoke in the tunnel. We can simulate train traffic ahead of them, the signals changing in a slightly different way. We can have mechanical problems on the train, and we can have things like the 600 volt power going off when they're in a tunnel.
All right, what do I enjoy about this job? Well, I like driving the train. It's not for everyone. Some people feel that it's work, but I don't. I mean, actually, I like operating any kind of motorized vehicle that exists, just because I like machinery, I like equipment, I like technology. So you can't take away the fact that driving the train is fun. No matter what happens during the day, you always have that. Especially if you happen to be a rail fan, it's even more fun. To come to work and play with a full-size electric train of your very own. It's hard to beat that. And it was the same deal with the buses. Buses are, well, for me, they were fun to drive, so much so that passengers used to come up to me and say, "You're having fun, aren't you?" And I said, "Yeah, I am." It was a blast to drive those buses back when I started. And streetcars, they're fun to operate too, but there's too many close calls every day for my liking. You have to watch out for everything on a streetcar. I think streetcars require the most concentration out of all three of the jobs. And there's too much traffic on the roads now to really enjoy driving a bus. Plus the fact that they don't have as much room on them as they used to have. So you get a few strollers on the bus, and there goes your schedule.
Hi, I'm Jim Short. I'm a supervisor with the Toronto Transit Commission. I've worked here 28 years now. I've had various positions. I originally started off as a bus driver at Danforth Division, and I did subway and RT also. And that, for a couple of years, I was a collector supervisor, and I took care of all the collectors that sell all the fare media in the booth. And now I'm a YUS supervisor, and I've been here about 13 years. Typical day of a supervisor for the Toronto Transit Commission is organizing all the operators, making sure that the trains are spaced out evenly, make sure that the brake crews are ready to go. One thing as a supervisor down here in the subway, I've always been a model train buff. So this is a pleasure being able to go out as a supervisor and actually drive trains. How many kids that started off playing with model trains have actually gone out and actually drive trains. So it's one thing I love doing, is jumping in the seat of the trains. I've driven everything from a G train to an H1, the H4s, the 2s. I've driven the H5, the 6, and now we have the T1s, and we're just getting in now all the new TRs. So it's fun over the years driving different types of trains with different handles and different equipment. Of course, all the new TRs are all computerized and have different cameras that we can actually look and see what the patrons on the train are doing. So it's been fun over the last few years.
Hi, my name is David Coelho, and I've been with the Toronto Transit Commission for the last 7 years, and all those 7 years I've been in subway. I really love my job, and I guess I'm very lucky that I got into subway straight away, because a lot of people who start with the TTC as transit operators either get into buses or streetcars and then they move over to subway. So I guess I'm one of the lucky ones. And I like dealing with passengers. I love the way that the train moves and when I brake at the stations. And when I was a young boy, 8 or 9 years old, I always wanted to be a train driver. Not this kind of a train. I didn't envision this kind of a train. You know, the steam engines with the smoke and all that and the choo-choo. But this is good enough.
Well, my name is June, and I started with TTC in 1989. And currently, I've been here for 24 years, so it's been a long journey and a good one at that. So I have enjoyed working with the TTC, and I had a really good time being here.
There's one thing I wanted to tell people about this job. When people look at us and they say, wow, that's a cool job, I can do that. It's just, he just has to move the lever, or the guard who's doing the doors, oh, he just got to press the buttons. But there's a lot of training involved, a lot of training that's safety related, and also a bit of technical stuff. When I started on this job, there were 10 students who started along with me, including me. 5 were transfers from buses and streetcar, and 5 were totally new from the street. By the middle of the training, the 5 transfers had dropped out, and one of the people from the street actually failed one of the tests. By the end of it all, 5 of us made it to start the job, and out of those 5, only 3 made it through probation. So this is a pretty intensive training, and the level of alertness should be very high. At any given point of time, we have to watch for the lights, for track workers stopping exactly on the platform, which is no easy task when you're doing it time and time again, and you have to be 100% perfect. You make one mistake and there could be a serious injury or accident.
My name is Malcolm. I've been with the TTC now for 13, coming up to 14 years. Started working for the TTC. I was going to school and money started getting a little bit tight, so applied for the job, thinking I'd do it for a couple of years, save up some cash, and then, well, the rest is history. I've been here ever since. Started in the subway, went to streetcars for a little bit. Now I'm back into subways, and I quite enjoy it.
When I started on the job in 1989, as a bus driver, I started with a small group of women who were just starting to come onto the job, and back in those days, it was predominantly male, and the challenges were there, even so among my male counterparts, and it was kind of getting used to working with so many men with so many different ideas, and I just want to encourage women now to come on board and enjoy working for TTC, because in the long run, you learn a lot from working here. Not everyone will see it that way, but I do see it that way because women have come a long way on the job, and I would really certainly encourage more women to join and see what it's like. It's really a wonderful place to be working for.
Hi, my name is Curtis Boyle. I'm on a subway operator on the BD line. We call it the Bloor Danforth. My badge is 53949, and I've been here for 13 years, going on my 14th after August of 30th.
I think that one of the biggest misconceptions that the public has about my position is that we just sit here pushing a button. There's a lot more to it. I wouldn't say it's a hard job. It's not difficult to do, but you do have to stay focused, and there's a lot of responsibilities that you have to do as well. So with experience, you kind of make it look easy. It gets really repetitious. However, there's a lot more to it. I like to compare it with a flight attendant. They do more than just hand out pillows and peanuts and Coke and whatnot. In emergency situations, it's us that are going to be doing the emergency procedures, such as evacuations, mechanical problems. We do a lot of observe and report as well.
I call it, we're all like ambassadors. We're all eyes here at TDC, so there's like 6,000 to 7,000 operators, and every day there's some operator out there doing something to help or save somebody's life. Out of my 13 years here career, I had almost, well, when I think everything I've seen, something does happen new. There's good things and bad things. I remember one time a little boy got lost. I think most operators here have good intuition when they can notice something different or odd of people's behavior or whatever. So I got the little boy, and we call transit control. Everything here is procedures. We follow procedures, and they found the mother. Like yesterday, I was guarding on the opposite side, and I noticed something at Young Station. From a glimpse of my eye, I noticed it was a middle-aged lady who collapsed on the platform. I could tell by the way she was like sort of passed out on the platform. It wasn't normal behavior. I called transit control as I was leaving, so I'm hoping the emergency or the EMS got there a lot quicker than maybe a passenger running to a phone. Because of what I saw, I'm hoping that she got the medical attention quicker than somebody else getting there. And that's one of the good things about this job. We have procedures we follow. Sometimes there, it could be nothing, but it's that one time where it could save somebody's life. And transit control called us back, asked for our badge numbers, and it was a woman who did collapse. It was this being a very hot weekend.